For my project, I'll be discussing the cinematography and the soundtracks of the show Altered Carbon and how they contribute to the world building and overall emotion of the show, and how that relates to the overall key elements and motifs of the science fiction genre. For my first topic, I'll be discussing the cinematography. This first shot is of the main character coming out of 250 years of imprisonment in a new body. He is extremely disoriented to the people around him and his environment. This shot does such a great job of capturing our primal fear of the unknown, a vital element in most science fiction genres. You can really see the distress and fear that he's experiencing coming into a world that he's never been in before. This scene captures how the distant future isn't so far from our own reality. The people still need umbrellas, and there are still back alleys and slums that people head through with care. I believe the purpose of this shot is to solidify the warnings that the show gives us about not taking our precious resources for granted, or else we may end up similarly to this dystopian future. Science fictions have always either told us of amazing things or warned us of terrible decisions for ours to make. This shot definitely represents the latter. Here, we can see the vast metropolis that the show takes place in, unlike anything in our current era. Massive skyscrapers and roads covered by smog. I believe the purpose of this shot is to help the world building and to inspire a sense of awe and wonder. Science fiction is known for its motifs of futuristic settings, and I believe that this is a prime example of that. For my last slide on cinematography, I've compiled 4 pictures that accurately represent how vast and amazing the world of Altered Carbon is. Science fictions have always wanted to bring new ideas and new places to the viewer's mind, to give them new ideas and new places to imagine of when they dream. From unimaginably blue lakes to vast forests of another planet, we can see that not everything is as grim as it may seem in the show. However, there are places that we know today that have been completely ruined. For instance, this picture of the Golden Gate Bridge, now trashed, ruined, and a slum for the diseased. The world also has a lot of darkness to it. My second topic, I'll be discussing the soundtracks of Altered Carbon. This first piece is the song that you hear at the beginning of each episode. I feel like it truly embodies the tone of the show as a whole, as it sets up the mystery and wonder that the show gives off. I believe it's perfect for a show that just establishes such a hard setting in a world that we couldn't even imagine. With the show being an action-adventure and a science fiction, there are bound to be some action scenes. This particular one happens after the main character is tortured beyond belief and finally escapes. He then goes on to kill everyone in the facility, whether they were innocent or not. The scene captures a moral indifference and a balance of good and evil. Much like the scene, the song seems to capture the same as well. Much like the scene in the soundtrack, science fictions have always presented the motif of good versus evil and the unknown versus the known.
Ain't no grave can hold my body down. Ain't no grave can hold my body down. When I hear that trumpet sound Ain't no grave can hold my body down.
For this last soundtrack snippet, you'll notice the references to graves and trumpets. These references can relate to the motifs that some of the people have practically become immortal and are commonly compared to angels. The trumpet is a reference to the trumpet that will be blown during rapture and the dead will raise from their graves. All references aside, the emotion in this soundtrack is amazing. It truly embodies the main character's will and determination to find out the truth in everything. Similarly to the main character, we as humans have a primal desire to explore the unknown and find out things that we don't already know. The science fiction genre has always been a prime representative of this urge.